Well, hello and welcome back into Studio B, my friends. Today we are going to do a next level Vinyasa practice that is all about expecting the unexpected. So you'll see a lot of classic poses and flows in this practice, and yet there will be moments where there's little things that come up that you might not expect. And so opening yourself to this sense of curiosity, again, that sense of openness and just being willing to okay, this is what's showing up right now. This is what we're doing. So let's get started straight away. You'll find that I'm in Hero's Pose with the hips over the heels. If you need to sit on a block here for a little bit more comfort, feel free to do so. And place the palms, either palms down or up on the lap. We're going to begin with Netra Vyayamam, the eye movements. So without moving any other part of your body, let your eyes lift up towards the ceiling. You can imagine a clock face and begin to trace 1, 2, 3, all the way around the periphery of your line of sight. Again, we're not moving any other part of the body. We're just stretching and toning all of the muscles that surround the optic nerve. And this practice of Netra Vyayamam, the eye movements, is a really great way to get the brain online for the practice, just cultivating this sense of concentration and focus straight away. And then the next time you find the eyes up at the ceiling, pause, bring them straight ahead, close the eyes, give yourself a full breath in and a complete breath out. And we'll reverse that movement of Netra Vyayamam, opening the eyes, lifting them up towards the ceiling, and this time counterclockwise, 11, 10, 9, and continuing around that imaginary clock face. Again, trying not to skip or jump over any of those imaginary numbers. Netra Vyayamam is one of those practices that's really easy to take off the mat and integrate into your everyday life, just pausing in between emails or text messages to give the eyes a bit of a rest. This helps to reduce eye strain and the occurrence of headaches as well. And the next time the eyes reach the ceiling, pause, look straight ahead, close the eyes, full breath in and out. And then keeping your eyes closed, bring the palms of the hands together, start to rub them back and forth, really stimulating some heat between the palms. And when you have a sufficient amount of heat, gently cup the palms, placing them right over the eyes. So it's like you're creating a little sauna for the eyes here, the fingertips resting at the hairline. Starting the practice gently, knowing there will be plenty of opportunities for challenge today. And then as that heat dissipates, take the pads of the fingers for some gentle tapping or massage or palpation, anything that feels of service to you. In this moment, for me, the back of my jaw always feels pretty yummy to get back in there. Sometimes around my temple. And then we're going to take the fingertips to the floor and walk them away from you in a slight diagonal. And we'll start to move the head up and down in this vertical orientation. Just gently stretching and moving the neck. And then the next time you come to center, pause. And we'll start to move horizontally side to side, just warming up the neck. Again, knowing we will have plenty of time in this practice to really challenge ourselves. So welcoming in the body as it is today, somewhat gently, really checking in. The next time you move through center, we'll pause and go side to side, right ear to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. And now I'm really starting to feel a little bit of sensation along the sides of the neck. Next time my right ear drops to my right shoulder, pause there. Go ahead and place the right hand on the left side of the face. We're not pushing here. I'm just introducing the weight of my arm on my head to just amplify that sensation along the left side of the neck. And then these final couple of breaths here, let the chin drop towards the right collarbone. Ooh, I feel that move towards the back of my neck. And then release the right hand. The head just goes back and forth a couple times. Nice and easy. And then the next time you find that left ear over the left shoulder, pause there. And then lift the left hand, just place it on the right side of the face. Again, no pushing. We're just letting the weight of the arm naturally introduce a degree of deepening. And then letting the chin drift towards that left collarbone. I feel that sensation kind of slide a little bit more to the back of the neck. Ooh, keep those breaths nice and deep. And then releasing left hand, letting the head drift back up to center. If you close those eyes because it just felt so darn good, open them up. We're going to come up to standing and get ready to start flowing with some classic 12 movement sun salutations. So if you practice with me often, you know I tend to prefer a lunge salutation, and that is what we're going to do here today. 4 rounds of lunge salutations, totally classic movement to breath to really get the body warmed up. So feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, lengthen those arms alongside you. Exhale, palms come together, position 1. Here we go. Reaching forward, up and back is 2. Hinging and folding is 3. Left foot steps back, left knee down, 4. Step it back, 5, down dog. Either knees, chest and chin, or plank through chaturanga, 6. Cobra or up dog is 7. Down dog is 8. Left foot forward, right knee down is 9. Right foot forward, 10. Circle sweep those arms out, up and back, 11, 12. Keep it flowing, 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, just using this as a tonic for the body to get us ready for some bigger movement. Folding over the legs. Right foot back, right knee down. Left foot back, down dog. Keeping that lighthearted sort of energy in the practice. Don't take yourself too seriously. You're just a breathing body. Right foot forward, left knee down. Keep it flowing. Left foot forward, fold in. Circle sweep. And bring it in. 2 more rounds. Just feeling so good, getting into the body. This is something you absolutely can expect. The classic flow. Nothing out of the ordinary. Left foot back, left knee down. Maybe bring the arms up this time. And then keep it moving, down dog. Again, you could do knees, chest, and chin, or plank to chaturanga. Up to you. Down dog. Making sure that breath is full and complete. Left foot forward. Arms might come up. Stepping to meet at the front of the mat. And up. And close. One more time. Feel that heat building. In the body we go. Just really feeling like, man, it feels so great to just be in this body of mine. Moving with it as it is today. The glory of just having a body that can move easily with both strength and grace. Right foot forward, left knee down, and up. Step. Listen carefully here, fold in, widen those feet about hip distance apart. Walk your hands back so they're in line with your heels. Bend the knees, look forward, feel those shoulders come inside the knees. And then straighten up and try to really fold the torso in. 2 more. Inhale, feel those shoulders inside the knees. And straighten. 1 more time. And maybe hold onto the back of the heels, straighten. Feeling that relationship between the shoulders and the inner knees. A little squeeze there. Connection is really there. Release the arms, rise all the way up. Seal out, sun salutations. Release the arms, you might walk the feet in. Take a couple breaths. The body is here. And the body is breathing. Open those eyes. I'm going to turn to face the long edge of my mat, primarily because I like to imagine seeing your faces. But I also, this next sequence, we're going to use the width format of the mat, so it'll feel a little bit better to go ahead and orient yourself that way. Take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to start with the balancing pose of star pose. So taking the arms up overhead, start to lean into your left leg, coming up onto the ball of that right foot, and then starting to explore the boundaries of your own personal galaxy here, finding your balance in star pose. And then if you want to challenge the balance, you could start to pivot your gaze up towards the right hand. Taking up the space here. Not being scared to lean into the boundary of your balance. And then starting to come up, we'll prepare for Prasarita Padottonasana. So feet nice and wide, noticing they're at least parallel, if not slightly turned in. Hands to waist, inhale, and fold on forward. I'm going to bring my hands right underneath my line of sight here. Take my left hand right in the center, right hand to low back for heart like a wheel. As I start to roll the right shoulder onto the back, look up and over, right arm extends, heart like a wheel. So I've got this unbroken line of energy from right fingertips to left palm, really pivoting everything from my navel to my crown of my head around to the right. Legs really strong and active. And then looking down, lowering, walk the hands back in line with the feet, folding in, inhale, and exhale, fold. Finding that relationship of the head coming down towards the floor. Nice full deep breaths. And then lifting the head, walking those hands forward. Right hand comes right in the center of your line of sight, left hand to low back. Start to pivot and rotate to the left. Notice how that left shoulder drops onto the back like butter sort of melting on a hot pan. Then that left arm extends up and the head is the last thing that turns to rotate. My pelvis is still relatively stable. There's a little bit of an initiation of the twist at the pelvis, but most of it is happening in the spine. So I let the pelvis dip just a little bit so that I'm not putting too much strain on the low back, but I'm still primarily twisting from the navel upwards. And then looking down, undoing that twist, walking the hands back again in line with the feet. Inhale, here's my length. Exhale, I'm folding in. Now here's an option to stay right here working with this for 5 breaths. Or if you're feeling kind of playful, you've got a lot of sort of fiery energy this morning, there's a really fun opportunity for an arm balance here. So I'm going to bring my hands forward. I'm going to move my paper out of the way here. Wiggle my feet wide as if I was coming into Samukhanasana. Now, as I look down at my hands, I'm going to turn them out about 45 degrees, and they're pretty narrow and close to each other. And then if you're a female or you have any extra tissue here in the chest, I'm going to sort of wrap my arms around that extra tissue so that my elbows are actually coming down and into the ribs and the upper abdomen. And then I'm going to begin to lean forward. I can't really talk in this one, and work to lift the legs. Here we go, play. And coming down. Well done, that's a fun one to work with. Walk the hands to the front of your mat. Take a little vinyasa to flow out. Sometimes after some hard work like that, we just need to move the energy through the body. Bet you didn't expect that one to come. That one was probably a little unexpected. Let's walk the feet towards the middle of the mat, soften the knees. Again, widen the feet about hip distance apart, hands back in line with the heels. Inhale, feel the shoulders inside the knees. Exhale, fold in. Wrap the hands behind the heels 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, you're probably thinking, what is this bringing me into? You're going to find out not too long. Fold. And then soften the knees, come all the way up. And close it out. Shaky, shaky. Let's get ready to do that sequence on the second side, starting with that star pose. So feet about hip distance apart, arms reaching up. Whew. Lean to your right. Here we go, finding our balance. Again, not being scared to really like lean into that. So really testing the boundaries of the balance. And then that final option to lift the gaze to the ceiling. And then taking it with control out into that Prasarita. Gonna need to widen the feet a little bit. Inhale, hands to hips. Fold on in. Hands underneath you. So you could repeat that heart like a wheel with the hands right underneath the line of sight, or walk both hands to the right. Take your left hand to either your outer right thigh, calf, or ankle. Right hand to low back. Start to twist around to the right. Melt the left elbow towards the mat. Extend that right arm, breathing. 3, 2, 1. Looking down, walking those hands through center. We'll fold in the middle. Inhale. Fold on in. Getting a little bit deeper. Every breath is an opportunity to bring you into a deeper relationship with your body. How's it doing? Inhale, lift up. Let's take that twist second side. So remember, you could place right hand right here in the middle of the mat, or navigate both hands over to the left. Right hand will come to the outer left thigh, calf, or ankle. Left hand to low back. And then melt the right elbow towards the mat. Twist the torso. Left arm to the ceiling. 3 big breaths here. Noticing kind of what is your habitual reaction to being in relationship with the unexpected? Is it to freeze? Is it to fight it? Is it to resist it? Unwind. Instead of what would it be like to just kind of like flow with the unexpected? Fold in. Let's come into Malasana pose here, walking the hands forward, heel toe the feet in for that Malasana garland stance. Mine are a little bit wider than hip distance apart and slightly turned out. And then bend the knees, sinking down and finding my palms together into my Malasana. And I'll be honest, this is not a pose that's naturally really accessible in my body. It's one I have to really work to get into. I have some compression here at the front of my ankles. So sometimes if you're anything like me, if this is a pose that can feel more rigid, allow it to be more fluid. You know, throw the technicality out the window sometimes if that means being able to meet your body where it is a little bit more authentically. And then maybe you start to find the pose a little bit more. Just by kind of being willing to take a more unexpected approach, even into a classic shape. Let's drop the hands to the mat, lift the seat, folding Uttanasana. I'm gonna turn to face sideways. We're gonna work with Bhujapidasana, which you might have thought we were building towards, and that's sure enough what we're working with. So we're gonna walk the hands back in line with the heels, even slightly behind. And then I'm gonna start to bend my knees, and again, getting that relationship between the shoulders and the knees. I'm gonna work to really tuck my shoulders behind my knees. So I'm like a tortoise coming into my shell, which I'm gonna give you a hint is something we're gonna work with later. Now I want you to activate your legs, squeeze your shoulders, plant your palms down. Let your palms get heavy as your hips drop. And then we're gonna bring the big toes together. Can you cross your ankles? Maybe yes, maybe no. Lift the feet, squeeze the thighs to the outer shoulders, look forward, smile, breathe. 3, 2, and then lower the feet, lower the hips. That was amazingly done. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Paschimottanasana. Every inhale, opportunity to lengthen. Every exhale, opportunity to deepen. One more breath. And then we're gonna take a vinyasa right here across those ankles, jump it through, find your flow.
Move that energy. Down dog. We're going to jump through and all the way onto our backs. Extend the legs, extend the arms. We're going to find some leg lifts here. So from the back, I'm going to untangle this knot that's on my back that can be very uncomfortable. Extend those legs. Place the palms right alongside you. And then you can keep the head on the mat here. Okay, bend your right knee in towards your chest. Take your left arm overhead. Hover your left leg. And here we go. We're going to do 10 bicycles. Inhale here. Exhale, switch the leg and the arm. And switch. And switch. And that's 2. We've got 10 of these. And 3. And switch. Using that mind-body connection. And switch. You're halfway there. And switch. Back ribs heavy. Switch. 4 more. 2, go. Switching legs and arms. And 2. And switch. And 1. And switch. Listen carefully. Both knees in. Hug it in. Exhale. Extend legs and arms. 10 of these. In. And extend. And 8. And extend. And in. And extend. Keep it going. And extend. And in. And extend. And 4. You've got this. We're doing it together. And in. And out. And in. And out. Last one. Here we go. And out. And in. Feet down. Press into the feet. Lift up. Find your bridge pose. Feels so good. Stretching out the front of the abdomen. If you've got on a loose shirt like I do now because I've untied the back of it, you might want to tuck it in because we're coming into an inversion of shoulder stand here. So from our bridge pose, you're going to take your hands onto your low back, create a little shelf, and then extend one leg up towards the ceiling, followed by the other. You might bring the legs a little bit higher, hands onto the low back, finding Sarvangasana shoulder stand. And this is another one of those poses that isn't always super accessible in my body. And so I give myself permission to be a little bit more gentle with the shape that I take. Slowing down the breath. Letting it calm my system. And then start to flex the feet, moving into Halasana, plow pose, big toes come overhead. Maybe releasing the arms for a few breaths. And then we're going to come into Supta Paschimottanasana, a little bit of a funky, unexpected version. So it is that Paschimottanasana classic pose, upside down. So from the Halasana, bring the arms overhead, take your peace fingers and loop them around the big toes. And then from here, you're going to activate the arms, keep the legs really strong and straight. Start to bend the elbows and try to pull the shins towards the nose, letting the pelvis drop a little bit, folding in. 3. Back of the legs reaching towards the ceiling. 2. 1. Start to slowly and with control roll the spine onto the mat. Bend the knees. Drop them briefly to the right. Not here too long. Inhale, pick them up and over to the left. And then back up to center, rock and roll yourself. Come up to seated position. I'm gonna turn to face you for this. Put my clip back in, and we are gonna work with one more posture that's super fun, that's really building on a lot of the shapes we've already practiced in this class. So we're gonna bring the feet about hip distance apart, flat on the mat. And I've got enough space that my pelvis feels pretty grounded. And we're gonna take a twist here. So I'm gonna circle sweep my arms out and up. Right arm behind me, left hand to that right knee, and twist around. Just a simple twist here. Notice if the knees are wanting to fall open or closed. We wanna keep them pretty steady. So there is some activity in the legs. And then start to look forward, unwind the spine, walk your hands forward. And again, what's here? Relationship between the shoulders and the knees, which we've already used in Bhujapidasana, but we're moving towards Kurmasana. Take the hands, wrap them, and place them on the tops of the feet. And then I want you to get a little snuggle. Feel the legs kind of squeeze in like you're giving the shoulders a hug. Yeah. Now inhale, lengthen your spine a little bit. Exhale, drop in. This is a really great preparation position for Kurmasana. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly coming up. Again, twist that second side. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Kurmasana is the tortoise pose. Left hand behind you, right hand to left knee. So when we build towards Kurmasana, you're really thinking about the body coming into the shell, embodying that energy of the tortoise. So it's a sort of internally focused posture, a sense of hibernating within the self, moving inward and finding safety and security within your own body. Looking forward, unwind that twist. Again, reaching forward so you find that relationship between the shoulders and the knees. Next step is to wrap and place the hands on the feet. Feel that little hug. This is a place you could stay. For those of you going farther, take the hands more towards the back of your space and really try to wiggle the shoulders underneath the knees. Then flex the feet and slide the legs straight, finding Kurmasana. 3, 2, 1 big, beautiful breath. And then starting to come up. Unraveling the arms. Super well done. Bring those legs together. Dandasana, extending the legs, arms alongside you, feeling them push into the mat. Just getting a sense of stability after that really curved in shape of Kurmasana. And then we'll move towards Yoga Mudra, sealing the energy from this practice into the body, crossing the legs. You could take Sukhasana, half Padmasana lotus pose, or full lotus pose Padmasana if you prefer. Bring the hands to the low back, holding onto opposite wrist or elbows. And go ahead and close the open palm so you're really closing the circuit. This is not an asana. This is not a yoga pose. It is a seal, a mudra. Thinking of locking that energy from the practice into your body so you have it for the rest of the day. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, dropping forward. Forehead could come to block or floor. Sealing the energy from the practice into the body. And then on the next inhale, making it the slowest movement of your practice, lengthen out and all the way up. You can release the hands to the lap or the palms and take a couple breaths just to notice this balance you've created. We'll shift into Shavasana for our final resting pose, extending legs and arms. Maybe thinking about How do you typically respond to the unexpected? And maybe what did today's practice have to offer about a new way in which you might come into relationship with the unexpected? If you'd like to maintain the shape of Shavasana, feel free to stay here for as long as you like. If this is the time that you set aside for your practice, you might begin to welcome in deeper breath or subtle movements. And then in your own way, in your own time, making your way back up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for exploring the unexpected with me today, for being open and curious and embracing your growth mindset. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, whatever that holds for you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. And may that light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Sakuru Maharaj Ki.